What's up, guys? This is K-Lo, and normally I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming, but we got a breaking news edition of the cutting board, and who better to kind of squad up with me, no pun intended, Squirtle Squad right here, than Aden. Why don't you say what's up?
Okay, for future reference, make sure nobody actually really likes Vaporeon or Typhlosion, because after this, you're going to really hate them. Also, Octillery and Slackoth, maybe. So, prepare yourselves and strap in, folks.
Oh gosh, I can't wait to hear about that. But
Hold on, can we put a rated M warning right here?
yeah, explicit content ahead, potentially. I have no clue what's about to be told there. But in case you were living under a rock, there was a little leak about Yay Big over the weekend surrounding the Pokemon Company and Gamefreak. Literally everything was put on blast. I'm talking source code. I'm talking about concept art for used and unused Pokemon. I'm talking the Switch 2 Codename. That's some interesting information. And the story just keeps on evolving. No pun intended. But as of right now, what we do know, this is just what's out there. The next gen Nintendo Switch, its code name is Ounce. Do we have any sort of jarring reaction towards that?
Ounce?
Yeah, like OZ,
I
like
haven't
a
even heard
measurement.
that one. I haven't even heard that yet, but okay, that's odd. People are like debating whether or not there's even going to be a Nintendo Switch 2 now at this point.
Honestly, I'll just give me the direct.
Instead, we get a strange clock. It's okay.
That is such a Nintendo move. But we also have a code name for the unannounced Gen 10 game. Reportedly, it's called Gaia. And a quick thing right there, I did hear this TikToker kind of explain Gaia a little bit more. And apparently people are piecing together this game might take place in a region inspired by Greece. That's what I've heard thrown around. That would be beautiful. Cool. I would love that. I mean, I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I think how they interpreted that land, and now that game will be on the Switch, and also they are planning to port it to the Switch, the one we have now. So, yeah, I really like that idea.
I mean, I like that too. I don't know. I'm happy to hear Greece, honestly.
It's
if anything,
cool
I'm really happy because, like, I imagine they could do a lot of legendaries based off the like Greek gods.
Yeah.
Or like they could do like pseudo legendaries and stuff based off of them. If they don't have an entire pantheon here, like of just gods after gods, like for Pokemon, I'm gonna be upset if that's the case.
There is a Pokemon by the name of Buzzswole. He's just a jacked mosquito. I think he should be one of the gods. I can't. That was like Sun and Moon where it got really weird, and they made the Ultra Beast, and I'm like, why is that a thing in Pokemon? But a little more about Gen 10. There are two versions as per usual, K and N. I don't know if people can dive into more reasoning behind that, but that's the Japanese name. So essentially what I'm saying here is this means something, but at the same time, it doesn't mean anything. So it's just kind of out there.
Oh, it'll be Gen 10 and people will be like, yay, Nintendo, we totally forgive you for all of your horrible things with doing like lawsuits and yada 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 because Nintendo fanboys.
That's very true. And we got another code name for a game. It's called Synaps, and this is going to be... I've heard two conflicting reports. It's either an MMO or something inspired by Splatoon. Apparently, Central Leaks did say that this game is more of the Splatoon game, and an MMO is an entirely separate thing.
I don't want Splatoon, though.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Give me a new Pokemon MMO.
A Pokemon MMO, like, give me Legends Arceus, but, like, open world MMO deal? Sold. I mean, Game of the Year, right there.
Or, Gale of Darkness.
I didn't say it this time.
Give me another one.
I didn't say it this time. I'm glad someone else did.
I stand by you.
Okay.
I stand by you with it.
Perfect.
We need more. We need more of it.
Also,
I still have a GameCube with the skin for Gale of Darkness on it, so
mine's sitting right down there. I have it right there. It's
okay. I'm not the only one.
I also just want to say, like, I've been pulling for that game for years now, and I would have loved to find out it's in production through a leak. I mean, grant you, leaks are bad, that whole thing, but it would have given me life, a reason to live forward. But alas, nothing there. Now we're out of the code names here. And this is where it kind of gets serious, and source code for DS titles like Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Black and White 2 are out there. So that is a very interesting point because those set of games are widely regarded as the best the Pokemon series has to offer. And now that it's out there for the community, I mean, shoot, they're going to take that and run.
I don't know, two things. If you think Black and White is like the best that the Pokemon games have to offer, clearly you've never played Emerald.
Right there.
Ruby and Sapphire, Emerald.
Right
best.
there.
Sorry, but you can't sway me otherwise.
I agree with that.
Also, I want them to take the source code and totally start doing, just go balls to the wall and make like so many weird things with it.
That's the thing, and there's a new story that broke, like, literally just today, I think. Apparently, source code or a playable build for Pokemon Legends ZA on the PC is now out there. I haven't looked too much into that. I should have before we did this, but apparently that's out there, and that's huge. That's the unreleased Legends game that we don't know much about outside from that cinematic trailer.
Other than it's probably going to be just a city builder.
I mean, I look at comparing leaks, and like leaks are different across all gaming here, but the Insomniac leak where we got footage of the Wolverine game, and I think it was a playable build. I mean, this is awfully close, if not worse, than that one.
Yeah, I am currently looking to see if I can find that source code.
He's going to be playing it.
I want to see it.
So, other things that were thrown out there outside the countless pictures of various Pokemon that have been used and scrapped and all that. Apparently, there were some TV shows and movies out there. I seen a sequel to Detective Pikachu, the live-action Netflix show that's based around Red, the original trainer from Red and Blue. And I believe there's one more thing out there. It was like a more adult-themed Pokemon thing that deals with a lot of like heavy issues and emotions and all that. So, yeah, this being dubbed the Gigaleak, I am just amazed at how much is out there. I mean, we're talking music, we're talking like UI for prior games. I mean, what are your thoughts in general about this? Did you say anything that stood out to you?
I mean, the things that stood out to me the most were like the weird ass stories that came from it. I mean, those ones I started reading and I was like, oh my god, why?
Hey, is this where we segue into story time with Aden? Are you going to read
I mean, we
some
can. We can, but
cue the
first,
graphic.
Here, I did find, the code name for Legends ZA is Akaku, apparently. And there's also Synaps, which is an unreleased multiplayer battle title.
That's the Splatoon game, I think.
Yeah, okay.
So, hey.
And then there's Sudachi, which is an Area Zero DLC, which would have been for, like, last one.
Scarlet and
that
Violet.
I'm drawing. Yeah, Scarlet and Violet.
Gotta get
I was thinking
colors.
Sword and Shield, but I don't know why.
Pokemon, you tend to forget the bad generation, so
yeah,
that's me with Sun and Moon and all that. I don't think about
Scarlet
that.
and Violet was terrible, and I pity anyone who thinks that was the best ones.
That is totally fair. But we alluded to this weird part of the leak where, and I want to stress the point, this isn't fan fiction. This isn't like some random on the internet writing out something like about Pokemon. This is from Game Freak themselves. I've heard stories about Slackoffs and Vigoroths abducting a woman, and like I don't know if I can say too much past that.
Let's break it down with the Slackoff one first. The Slackoff one, from my knowledge, was like them being in the woods, them like basically ripping people apart, and
I,
then also going ham on women in general.
yeah,
Not fun.
it's so weird because it's coming directly from Game Freak.
Yeah.
Like, what meetings are happening behind the scenes that is being brought up? Like, I
But
get there was like the thing, like the leaked image of like the lore of Pokemon and how everything kind of factors into this all. But in my opinion, as a fan of the series, I have it tattooed on my arm. We don't need to know all the stories. There are some things you just kind of like, hey, that is a mouse that shoots electricity out of its cheeks, and it's cute. Leave it at that, please.
please, I like the Darkrai thing.
The dream thing? I think I know
Yeah,
about that. That
yeah, the
it's cool.
stories in Dark with Darkrai, like giving
Yeah.
endless nightmares and everything. Oh, I love that one.
But like your thing, you're gonna read a little bit. Is it the
Okay.
Octillery thing or is this the
Yes,
Typhlosion
yes.
thing? Okay.
So here is story time, and here, Kevin, if you want, you can dub it in. Go ahead, like story time with Aiden.
I can't believe
Let's.
this.
This is the first time I've read this story. Kevin, go ahead and give me your honest reaction as you hear this. It is
Okay.
like 1 page long.
Okay.
We got maybe like 8 paragraphs on this thing, so it's really not that long.
Okay, I'm gonna
But
get
it
comfortable
says,
and just kind
yep,
of see what's happening here.
get comfy. I'm going back to childhood where they'd call on me in class to read. Now, the theme is the collapse of culture and relationships. Here we
Oh,
go. Says there was a time when the boundary between Pokemon and humans was blurred. In a coastal village, there was a man. One day, as he was walking along the shore, he found a female Octillery washed up on the beach. The man had relations with the Octillery and then threw it back into the sea. The next day, he went to the same spot and found the same Octillery again. He once more had relations with it and threw it back into the sea as before. There you go, 1 paragraph in, and what do you think?
this isn't a bit.
It-
What? What? Excuse me? Like,
Just keep in mind, that's
what?
1 paragraph in here. Come on.
Honestly, I don't want to say it can't get worse, but it might.
Okay, let's keep going. One night, after several days had passed, the man had a dream. In the dream, the Octillery spoke to him. I cannot come to you, but I will deliver our child to you. It is our child, yours and mine. The next morning, the man went to the place where he had met the Octillery. There, he found a boy. The man took the boy home and raised him. Time passed, the boy grew into a young man, and the father passed away. The young man was always lonely. One day, as the young man was walking along the shore, he saw a group of people playing in the distance. They all held very large swords in their hands as they danced. The young man approached the people, and as he got closer, he saw that Sharkpedo were playing along the beach. When he tried to get even closer, the Sharkpedo suddenly leapt into the sea all at once. However, one of the Sharkpedo lingered, looking around 3 times before swimming away. At the spot where the Sharkpedo had been playing, there was a large sword lying on the ground. It was a shape he had never seen before, and it was very sharp and pointed. The young man took the sword home. So, not as bad with the second and third paragraphs.
I don't like where this is going. Not one bit. Not
But
one bit.
Octillery boy has a sword, so
Important
let's see
update.
where it goes from here. The next day, the young man took the sword and went into the forest. While walking through the forest, he encountered an Ursaring. He tried slashing at the Ursaring's mouth with the sword, and the mouth was easily severed. Next, he stabbed at the Ursaring's eyes, and they were easily pierced. Finally, the young man thrust the sword in the Ursaring's chest, and the Ursaring died effortlessly. The next day, the young man killed 30 Ursaring. After that, He always carried the sword with him, playing by injuring the Pokemon he encountered or cutting off parts of their bodies. So there we go. The slaughter of a lot of Ursaring.
I don't know. Like
Oh, you're not a fan of the teddy bear Pokemon?
I, I just, I don't like. There's a need for backstory in games. There is. That's how you connect with the characters. That's how you make a bond. And like, there's the Pokemon anime that provides plenty of good backstory for the Pokemon themselves. But this, this,
This. Keep in mind, we are halfway down the page. We have one, two, three, like essentially four more paragraphs to go. So, here we go. One autumn, while the young man was searching for firewood, he lost his way. After walking for a while, he stumbled upon an Ursaring's den. Inside, there was an elderly Ursaring lying down. The elderly Ursaring looked at the young man and said, "Come inside." The young man hesitated, but as it was getting dark outside, he entered the den. Before long, people began to enter the den one after another, filling the room completely. Looking closer, he saw that all the people had scarred faces, and some were missing their eyes. They were chatting amongst themselves, but the young man ignored them and fell asleep. At one point, he woke up to find the elderly Ursaring lying beside him. He fell asleep again. When he awoke once more, there were many more people around, talking about something. Again, the young man ignored them and went back to sleep. When spring arrived, the elderly Ursaring spoke. "Do you want to go home? Then I shall send you home. When you return, a Wailord will soon be found near the village. Go there. We will send a man. You must leave the sword behind and bring a witness. Why did you do such things, cutting faces and slicing off noses?" The elderly Ursaring escorted the young man back to the village. Upon his return, the young man recounted everything that had happened to the villagers. The following morning, the young man took some villagers with him and headed to the shore. As they walked along the coast, they found a large Wailord. Nearby on the beach was a Teddiursa. When it noticed the young man, the Teddiursa hid in the forest, and a large Ursaring came out in its place. As the Ursaring charged at him, the young man tried to draw the sword he had hidden, but it got stuck and he couldn't pull it out. So he rushed at the Ursaring with his bare hands. The young man and the Ursaring grappled each other's faces. They strangled each other with all their strength, and so they choked each other to death, collapsing on top of one another. The villagers went back and told others what they had seen. And that's the end of the story.
You know,
This has been story time.
you know, we started this video talking about the typical video game leak, you know, Switch 2, all the nice buzzwords. But you know that, you ever see that meme online of Mr. Incredible? It's like the handsome picture, and then it's like the black and white, all messed up picture.
Yeah.
That's this video in meme format. Because what was this? What was this? What was the Typhlosion story? The Octillery story? Again, what is so crazy to me, this is from Game Freak. This isn't from a random fan. This is from them. The people that made the games I love and cherish. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? Am I going crazy?
I mean, this isn't even the worst one. So
I don't even.
The worst one
the
has yet to come. Yes.
That's all I've heard, and like
now, if you want, I can read the whole story, or I can just give you the footnotes.
Give me the footnotes, because I don't know if I can.
Okay.
I don't know if I could take that story.
Okay, basically, the story starts off with a young woman who gets lost in the woods. and she happens across a Typhlosion. And then when she does, she is lost. She doesn't know how to get home. It's getting dark. And so the Typhlosion takes her into his den. Whenever that happens,
Oh no.
he's like, I
No.
will take you home tomorrow, basically, is what he says. And then he keeps saying that and he keeps saying it, and it's just like he never takes her home. And then basically
Oh.
gaslights her into staying with him
Oh
and
no.
saying, you can never look at me at night whenever I'm sleeping, though, yada, yada, yada. And then eventually, the two of them, like, the two of them end up having relations. Now it's not stated in the story that I remember whether or not the relations were consensual, but a lot of people pointed out that they aren't. And then later on, she goes home and she gives birth to Typhlosion's baby.
I
That's like the whole story.
I guess that's why they're called Game Freak. I don't know. I
Yeah,
I
everyone who games there is a freak.
they literally are if they're discussing this stuff. Like I'm all for like, hey, write your fan fiction, do whatever. If you're online, that's your thing. I love it. I support it, whatever. But when you are the company, the big old fancy company that makes these games, they take down fan-made games. They constantly go after people. I assume the person
Yep.
that leaked this is either under sniper watch or is already in a ditch somewhere. But when they do that, they do this. They write this stuff. Somebody, we gotta they gotta check their background, check the computer, check everything, please. I just I cannot
Yeah.
believe it. I cannot believe this.
What's even more fun is the memes that have come out of it.
Oh yeah.
The memes that have come out of it are hilarious. Which I need to find my favorite one because like it actually is worth saying on here because it's actually really funny.
If you
Do,
send
do,
it
do,
my
do.
way and as long as it's YouTube appropriate, which I couldn't even tell you if it was or not, I'll flash it up. The audience can be scarred with us.
Well, here's one of them
One.
by Brendan Blabber. Said, after reading through the Game Freak leaks, I think it might be possible for that the reason their games feel so rushed is because they have to spend 30% of their manpower silencing the guy who keeps submitting humans and Pokemons used to mate over and over again.
Literally, it's like, all right, when you know your franchise is suffering and has been lackluster, clearly somewhere in the Game Freak office, someone is devoting time, effort, and company resources to write this. To write this. Whatever this is. I just don't. I don't see the need for it. I don't see the want or desire. Like, hey, I don't know what to say. Honestly, I always have something to say about stuff in games, but this is done it. This broke me.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I mean, thankfully they were never released until now,
Thank you.
but
Yeah, until now.
thankfully they never actually were published.
Imagine being
But
the
it is
guy
weird.
that came across like all this information. He's like, oh, like Switch 2 Codename. Oh, like Legend ZA source code. Oh, 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 like uncovering this. I could not. What are we doing here, Game Freak? You have to explain. There has to be a statement made about this.
Yeah, I just all of them have me like in complete awe.
That's what
They
I'm
do.
saying.
I
I
mean, the Octillery one I find crazy because like really that one is just like, hey, I boned Octillery, had a baby, and then that baby grew up to slaughter like 30 Ursa rings.
like what? Like
Which
where?
I mean, I will say this, for a boy killing 30 Ursa rings, that's That's a lot.
That is a
That,
lot.
that, that's impressive, actually.
We, what have we become? We're rating these stories, and yeah, like
I mean, take out the relations part, and like really, someone just going around slaughtering Ursaring, I could see that as being an actual Pokemon game.
I can
Like
almost
before
guarantee you.
they started working together, kind of deal.
Now that like source code's out there and whatever else is out there, are we placing bets that a fan made game of these stories at some point in time comes?
I mean, I could see that. I
I
could
can
see
too.
someone turning these stories into like actual games, like horror games or something.
Oh yeah.
I could totally see it, like wandering through the woods as a girl, like with a lantern, and then getting trapped by a getting trapped by a Typhlosion.
This is gonna be a dark game in like Roblox or
Oh,
something.
oh, it will be. It will be so dark.
I, I don't know what else to say with the leak. I mean, crazy stuff. It's just top to bottom, like how much came out and how much we now know. I Is this the biggest gaming leak we've seen? I don't want to say ever. Like, has there been a bigger one though?
I mean, not that I can think of. I mean, this one's pretty massive.
I
Now we
also
just need
think
someone to
context.
leak the entirety of. Now we just need someone to leak the entirety of like GTA 6. Then that will
Rockstar.
officially be the biggest.
That would be. I mean, hey, crazier things have happened. I mean, technically GTA did leak. Like that little pre-built thing leaked out, but
Yeah. But no, I
compared
mean,
to
like someone
this.
leaked the entirety of the full GTA 6 game. There you go.
Whew. Well, I think that goes without saying. If you want to talk more about the leaks here today, by all means, join our Discord channel. Links to that is all in the video description down below. Wild times, and if more happens from this, we'll cover it here. By all
Yeah.
means,
And
hey,
give us more subscribbles if you feel like it.
yeah, if you feel like hanging out more around here,
Subscribbles.
like, do all that stuff, all the fun YouTube stuff. But as of right now, I've been K-Lo, joined by Aden, and we'll see you guys next time. If you enjoyed today's video and want more content just like this, consider subscribing to Game Sandwich for all your news, rumors, and reviews. And we'll see you guys next time.